Welcome to the Holistic Success Show. I'm Elizabeth Lozano.
And I'm Dr. Robert Puff. Today our guest is an expert on medical energy.
Dr. Puff is going to be talking to us about the ultimate benefit of meditation, as well as how we can deal with pain.
And a question from you about how do we help our children eat well?
And our other question is about what to do when you've hit a plateau in your weight loss. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you enjoy the show.
There are so many benefits to meditation that I could go on and on and on. But today I want to talk about what I consider the main benefit of meditation. As we go through life, we struggle with life because of two things. We have fears and we have desires. We have desires and we have fears. And what that is this mind of ours is critiquing, commenting on how life isn't the way we want it. We want to change it. We're dissatisfied. We want things to be different. And what meditation does is meditation gives you a break. It shuts this thing down and allows you to be 100% present in the here and now. And right here, right now, there are no fears. There are no desires. There really isn't any suffering. There may be pain, but suffering is in the mind. So the wonderful benefit of meditation is meditation, when we sit, it gives us the opportunity to not suffer. It gives us the opportunity to just be. And that, I believe, is the main thing that meditation can give us and make our lives wonderful. But it's important when you meditate to do more than just meditate. You want to take meditation and make your life more meditative. It's not that you're sitting all day long going, but it's a sense of more that you are being present right here, right now, as when you're meditating. When you meditate, you may be following your breath or a prayer word or a mantra, but you're very much 100% here now. And as you go through your life, if you're 100% present with what is, not worried about what's going to be, what might be, struggling over what has been, but being here right now, all your worries, all your fears dissipate like mist. And what you find is peace, happiness arises in its place. It's actually your natural state, but you're not aware of it because this thing all day long is making commentary. And if you learn through meditation to quiet this mind of yours, then what you can do throughout your day is be present with what is, without saying good, without saying bad, just be. And in that beiness, what happens is by being present, by being here right now, what happens is that the fears, the desires, all the suffering that occurs inside of here just goes away. And again, there is still pain, difficulties come, but you actually respond to them much more healthily in a much more better way because you're not constantly perseverating on and stuck on the fears and desires. And instead, what blossoms is this beautiful, wonderful life that you live one breath, one moment at a time. Peace.
Our first question this week is from Lonnie in Honolulu, Hawaii. I'm worried about my 6-year-old son. He constantly wants to eat and I don't know what to do about it. I give him healthy food so he's not overweight. Is this normal?
Lonnie, I have several suggestions for you. First, you're doing a great job as a parent. Your child is eating well, he's healthy and doing well with his weight, and that's a great job because you are only providing them healthy snacks, healthy food. And our kids will be healthy if we only provide them healthy food. My kids tend to weight, it's very good, it's very healthy because they are given opportunities to eat what they want, but it's healthy choices. And as long as you give your son healthy choices, he's going to be doing pretty well. The second thing is to basically trust him. I mean, right now he's going through a spurt and he is sounding like he needs extra food. And as long as you give him those good choices, look at the result. His weight is good. So it's a sense of trusting our children, but the key is good choices. He has to have healthy, good choices. But the third thing is, I think when there is an abnormality and you're not sure, it would be advisable to take him to a medical doctor and have them look at it. Perhaps there's thyroid is off or something is wrong, and it can hurt to have that investigated as a way to make sure that everything's well inside of him. But mostly, I really want to compliment you because you're doing a very good job as a parent. And as long as we as parents provide good, healthy choices for our children, and that's the main thing they're getting, their weight's going to stay well, they're going to be healthy, and we just need to continue to do that. They may not always like all the different things, but provide them, a lot of choices, healthy choices, green and vegetables and fruits, and they'll turn out pretty well as your son is turning out. What are your thoughts?
I think you mentioned some very important things, and one of the things I want to expand upon is the fact that your son is 6 years old, and when they're 6, they're growing, okay? So they need a lot of nutrients in them. Really good, healthy nutrients is the best thing that you can give him. Plus, you don't have to worry about the whole weight issue and sugar and all that stuff that goes in with that. But he's growing, so he's going to need a different amount of food than you are. And also, maybe you have other kids, and he's going to eat a different amount than maybe the other kids are too. And I'd pay attention to that. And if you're concerned, talk to some other parents, talk to the pediatrician, take him to the doctor and ask him. And they can kind of talk to you about that. I think that that's important. But he does need those healthy foods. So as Dr. Puff was commending you, I do the same thing. And I say you're doing a wonderful job by feeding him healthy foods. But I want to make sure too you're not too much of a hawk over him in regards to his weight, because if you are, that can cause an issue. I know we see that a lot with women, you know, having issues, even little girls with their body weight. Really make sure you're not kind of hovering over him or talking a lot about that or talking about the amount that he's eating, because he can become self-conscious about that, and that's something that you really want to avoid. We want him to grow up being healthy, strong, feeling confident, and all of that kind of ties together. So I encourage you, keep doing what you're doing, but you know, talk to the doctor, as Dr. Puff had said as well, in regards to like getting something tested. You know, there's diabetes and thyroid issues that can also cause an increase intake of food. So you want to make sure of that too.
There's another aspect I thought about too, is I think kids tend to be way more active than we are as adults, so they burn more calories.
And that's the hope, is that he's out there being active.
And learn from that. I mean, use your son as an example. I think it's really good. We love exercise, and we should do that. Get outside, play with him, but they really can burn the calories, and they need the calories. We don't need as much because we're more sedentary, but our children do. So we can actually learn from our kids.
It's actually better to eat more frequently, and it seems like you're eating so much, but if you eat every 2 to 4 hours, you're having little small snacks here and there. That's actually a really good thing and speeds up your metabolism and will keep you healthy as well. Thank you so much for your question. Are you or someone you love struggling with depression, anger, or anxiety? Have you suffered a loss, or are you struggling to keep your relationship alive? Do you have a child or a teen who needs help? You don't have to face it alone. We are here to help you create the change you need in your life to be happy again. Visit us at www.ocmentalhealthexperts.com for more information. Tranquility and peace. Find freedom and relaxation no matter where you are or who you're with. Be still. Be free. Meditation for health and happiness, available at www.holistichealth.tv.
Not feeling the way you want to feel? Isolated? Worried? Frustrated? Or is your child struggling? There are lots of labels. Our body is a system. It can affect our feelings. Sometimes you need a little help to understand what is happening, to make a plan for improvement, to take control of your body and mind. Insightful Minds, psychiatry for children, adults, and families. Call us for an appointment or go to insightfulminds.org.
Our guest today is Dr. Thom Lobe. He is a pediatric surgeon and also the founder and medical director of Beneveda Medical Group in Beverly Hills, California, which is the most comprehensive energy medicine center in the country. Welcome to the show.
Well, thanks so much for having me today.
Can you share with us, because we hear the word energy medicine, can you explain to us what exactly that is?
Sure. Energy medicine really is a subset of something that I like to call informational medicine. It's how the information is processed in our body. And it's everything from when you first meet your significant other and you get excited and either the energy is harmonious or discordant. It's how you feel. People call it chemistry. It's really the energy. It's also when you take in the food, the nutrients, what your body does with that, and allows the muscles to work, the heart to beat, allows you to think, allows you to process, and it's everything that happens. It's really about balance and harmony and flow. We live here in Los Angeles. It's like the freeway system. If everything's flowing naturally,
Everything's great, but otherwise.
But all of a sudden you have an accident and there's a blockage and there's this buildup of tension and anxiety and stress, and there's dis-ease, and that's exactly what happens in the body. When the energy's not flowing normally, we have disease.
Yeah, I actually talk with people a lot about that. As dis-ease creates disease in the body. And here is a medical doctor, you guys, here to tell us this.
Exactly.
So talk to us about how the work that you do is different than what another maybe MD might do, incorporating that energy medicine into what you do.
Sure. Well, one of the things that we do very differently is understand how the body processes the information that it uses to make you act, to make you think, to make you do things, to have you have one decision versus another. And for example, we are born with a blueprint. It's our DNA. We know that there are about 30,000 genes that make about 120,000 different proteins. That means every gene has switches that make it pick protein A, B, C, and D. And they're external influences. Everything around us, the people we relate to, the air we breathe, the food we take in.
So wait, you're saying that the people that we're around and negative, positive affect what's going on inside?
It helps us program the DNA, and it helps us manifest exactly who we are and how we function. It's very important.
Mm-hmm. So it's really important we pay attention to the people that we're spending time with, the things that we're putting into our body.
And one of the things that we do, like no one else, we understand how to diagnose the issues of energy, the balance. We can tell you how one person relates to another and whether or not that's helpful in your health or needs to be readjusted. It's a little bit like feng shuiing the body, feng shuiing the energy. In your whole life, it's not just what way is the door and what way is the bed situation. It's who you relate to, who you're around, what's the food that you eat, what sort of things you do, things that turn you on, things that turn you off, that we actually modulate the DNA and help you express yourself in different ways.
And how do you test some of that? I mean, if somebody comes in, how does one go about that?
Well, in conventional medicine, we've been testing energy for years. We look at the energy of your heart. A compilation of all the cells in your heart ends up being an electrocardiogram. EEGs are how we measure brain waves, and we could look at seizure activity, migraine headaches, and that sort of thing. With human energy, we're dealing with more subtle processes, and we look at everything from the heat energy that you generate in your body and how that relates to inflammation, for example, in a joint or some other process, and relates to pain, to what some people call the aura. And we look at the aura in a different way. It's much more scientific and very precise as to how that relates to the balance of energy in your system.
What exactly does the aura tell about the energy in your system? Like if you see somebody's aura, because I think people hear that and they think that's very esoteric, but what you're saying is that you can actually get a lot from that. So when you look at somebody's aura, can you give an example of what you get from that?
Sure. Well, I'll tell you a great story. I had a patient came to me. He was 60 years old, and he was actually a friend of mine. And I looked at his energy. I said, you've got something inflammatory going on in your lung, in your left lung.
Just by looking at him.
And he said, no, I'm fine. He said, your test is wrong. I said, well, that would be a first time. And 2 months later, he was in the emergency room, one of the hospitals in Los Angeles, in terrible pain. They did a CAT scan, and his wife called me up and said, they say he's got cancer in his lung. I said, it's on his left side, right? He said, they said, yes. I said, well, it's not cancer. I said, it's something inflammatory, and he's just been traveling, so I think he has TB, based on the energy signature. And they said, no, they're sure it's cancer. They're going to take his lung out, and they did. And then he came back to my office and follow up. And in the morning he had his appointment. He called me up and said, they called me up with my final path and I can't come in. I said, why not? He said, because they tell me I have TB and I'm contagious. And
after they removed his lung?
Yes, and I said, I told you that 2 months ago and you didn't believe me. So we can see things that are predictors of a problem. So when I see something aberrant in the energy field, I will often use allopathic approaches to help pinpoint that and help confirm a diagnosis or put someone's mind at ease.
You use the word allopathic. What exactly does that mean? Because I'm not familiar with that either.
So allopathic medical world is really conventional medicine, what we learn in American medical schools. That's what I was taught. But as I traveled around the world, lecturing, I'm a university professor, I traveled teaching surgery, I traveled teaching a number of things. I saw healers in different disciplines, different countries, and recognized that patients were getting better. You know, I was visiting China, and the head of orthopedics noticed that all of his patients were going next door to the traditional Chinese medicine hospital getting herbs, relieving their pain. So he started the Institute for the Study of Traditional Chinese Medicine. I'm on their advisory board in Hong Kong because, you know, he and I are similar. We're surgeons. We deal with the body in a very real sense, high-tech medicine, robotic laparoscopic surgery, and at the same time we recognize that there are herbs and potions and energy treatments that can actually create more healing in our lives, and that's really how I got into this.
And I think a good way for people to remember the name of your clinic is the way that you came up with the name, which actually ties into what you were just saying.
I was really looking for something that blended the West and the East, and looking for something that embodied wellness and healing. So Bene is the Latin root for word. It's a Western concept. Veda is the root of Ayurvedic, which is a sacred Hindu Eastern concept for sacred healing. So it's wellness and healing, it's West and East, and it's really the best of both.
Would you agree that a lot of what we see here in this Western world, and I see that a lot with, you know, clients that I've worked with and whatnot, that it's like my body is somehow not interconnected, or it's separate from my mind and what's going on in my emotional state. And I know, I'm sure you see all the time too, is like when people are upset or they're stressed, they carry so much of that on them and within them, like on their shoulders they carry stress, and the illness in their body, all these things. The dis-ease causes disease, as you were talking about. And so you look into that and see how people can change their lives, and that's part of what Dr. Puff and I are trying to teach. So having you here on the show is such a wonderful thing for people to see.
Well, a great example of that, we had a patient who was destined for a cardiac transplant. And we looked at the energy field, and we actually look at the psycho-emotional energy versus the physical energy, and her heart energy was fine physically. It was a psycho-emotional disturbance. Mm-hmm. So he said, don't get the transplant, let's do some healing. We switched her around. Her cardiac doctors were dismayed that all of a sudden she was better, and she never needed a transplant, and she's a well, healthy person today. So energy is so important, and we understand now that psycho-emotional disturbances really can manifest themselves as real disease processes, and rather than be the traditional conventional doctor and just give you a pill or do an operation, we try and look at the root cause. What is causing the problem in the first place? Why is your thyroid off? Why do you have diabetes? Let's take care of that, and the disease will go away. And
if people would like to find out more about you and your group, how can they get a hold of you?
Sure. Well, we're at www.beneveda.com, or they can call the office 310-289-2800. We can deal with patients all around the country. We have patients come to us from all over the world.
Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Are you frustrated at work, feeling overwhelmed and disconnected, losing all hope? What if you could see things differently? Learn how to shift your focus and see that the keys to success are truly in your hands. Learn how to work as a team again and love your job, ultimately finding the success you're looking for. Success beyond your imagination, available at www.holistichealth.tv. How to Live a Positive Life, available at www.holistichealth.tv.
Being human, sometimes we have painful events that occur to us. When they happen, whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, we have two choices, and really only two. One is we can feel it, heal it, and be well again. Feel it, heal it, and be well again. And it's not difficult. If it's a cut, you rinse it out, you cleanse it, and you're better. If it's emotional, you feel it, you express it, you get it out, and then you're better. But what many people do, and which is a tendency for all of us to do, is to numb it. That's the second thing we do, is we numb it. And when we numb it, it doesn't get better. If you numb a bad cut, it gets infected, it turns to gangrene, and it will ultimately kill you. Emotions are the same, they just take longer. If you numb pain, it doesn't go away. It stays, and it causes you more suffering. There's a friend I know who, every time he breaks up with a relationship, he gets very drunk and disappears for a week, and you don't see him. And when he comes out of that drunken stupor, he immediately tries to find a new relationship because he isn't dealing with the last one. And his life has gone on, because I've kind of kept track of him. As life has gone on, he's had great suffering, and his life is getting worse, not better. And what we do is, when we numb pain, we turn towards something that makes the pain go away, so we don't have to feel that pain. It can be, like I said, alcohol. It can be drugs. It can be relationships. It can be workaholism. It can be food. It can be many, many things that keep us from feeling. And the key of life is, feel your pain. It can be cleansed, it can be gotten away completely, but you have to feel it. There's a tendency in us to numb it. I don't want to feel this. This is too painful, Dr. Puff. I don't want to feel it. But if you don't feel it, it doesn't go away. It's there waiting for another day to feel, and another day. And it gets worse and worse. Instead, if you take the time, though it's painful, but if you take the time to heal it, cleanse it out, let yourself be better, let the tears flow, let the anger, healing anger come out, what you'll find is your life gets back to that beautiful state where all is well, because you are taking time for the pain, healing it, and getting better. You truly can have a beautiful life, but when pain occurs, take time to heal it. Don't numb it, because that doesn't work. Peace.
Our second question this week is from Roger in Huntington Beach, California. I've reached a plateau in my weight loss and can't seem to lose any more weight. Can you suggest a solution?
Roger, there are many ways to lose weight, but I want to talk about one you may not have heard of before. I call it mindful eating, or mindfulness eating. And what it entails is, when you eat slowly, eat with presence, and take your time. Really enjoy each bite richly, fully, and two things will happen. One is you will enjoy your food so much more. When you just eat, you eat slowly, you're really mindful of what you're eating, you feel it in your mouth, you feel it going down, you chew very slowly, take your time. I mean, now what typically may take you 20 minutes to eat, may take you an hour to eat, it's going to take more time. But what will happen is, a second thing besides enjoying your food more, is your body now will register, oh, I'm full. Because it doesn't, our mind, when our food goes to our tummy, it doesn't automatically say I'm full. That's why after we eat, we don't feel full, we feel stuffed because we ate faster than our tummy could register. So if you take your time when you're eating, eat slowly, eat mindfully, you'll enjoy your food more, but also when it hits your tummy, you will register, I'm full, I need to stop right now. And what we're trying to teach you overall is living a much more present, now life, and by eating slowly, eating with awareness, and really enjoying your food, one of the great benefits of that will be that you'll enjoy your life, your food more, but you also may lose weight. What are your thoughts?
I think that in anything that we do in life, we can hit a plateau. And what that means is we need to change something. Because when we continue doing something over and over again, it kind of becomes almost like rote, and our body gets used to it, so it's no longer a challenge. So one of the things that I encourage you, and I know I'm not a personal trainer, but we've had personal trainers on here, and I've worked with personal trainers as well, and nutritionists, is that it's time to switch something up. And you know, we get in this rut of doing something over and over again. Make a little bit of a change and be present in the change that you're doing, so that this isn't just about, I'm trying to lose weight, I'm trying to lose weight. Enjoy the journey along the way. Enjoy what you're doing. Pay attention to what your body feels like and the growth that you're feeling from losing weight in a positive way, because if you're wanting to just drop weight just like that, you got to be a little bit weary of stuff like that, because on top of that you got like excess skin hanging and all that stuff because your body doesn't have the chance to really slowly do that. So as Dr. Puff was saying with the mindful eating, couple that with mindful exercise. Listen to your body, switch things up, maybe go for a walk on the beach, have a good time doing that after you have a meal. Make things a little bit different and you'll enjoy life a whole lot more.
Another thought I had, Elizabeth, and I want you to kind of tell me what you think about this. It's also important for Roger to, though he's trying to lose weight, to love who he is and love his body for what it is right now. Do you agree?
Yes, because what we think up here actually affects what goes on here. I mean, it's all intertwined. I think here in the Western culture and society, we think that the two are not intertwined, that they're separate, but they very much are. So the thoughts that you have affect, you know, the way that you feel, and it may even be affecting your weight loss.
And
if you
being
have
kind to yourself.
Being kind to yourself is so important.
What if you look in the mirror and you criticize yourself? What's going to happen?
Well, one thing is you might go binge. You might go binge on food and you're not going to feel good and you're going to feel depressed, and that's not going to help you on your path. So be kind and gentle with yourself. Be patient with your body. Eat mindfully, exercise mindfully, and enjoy your life. Enjoy the journey.
Co-hosts of the Holistic Success Show, Dr. Puff and Elizabeth Lozano, MA, want to teach you how to live a meditative life. Learn to still your mind, diminish negative thinking, experience peace and bliss, and be 100% present in the moment. Retreats provide a unique opportunity to learn new skills, meet new people, and interact with Elizabeth Lozano and Dr. Puff. For information or reservations for upcoming retreats, please visit holisticretreats.tv. Expand your capacity for joyful living today.
Are you or someone you love struggling with depression, anger, or anxiety? Have you suffered a loss, or are you struggling to keep your relationship alive? Do you have a child or a teen who needs help? You don't have to face it alone. We are here to help you create the change you need in your life to be happy again. Visit us at www.ocmentalhealthexperts.com for more information. Our quote this week is by Franz Kafka. There are some things one can only achieve by a deliberate leap in the opposite direction. I know it can be scary sometimes, but if we don't take a chance, how will we ever succeed? Thank you for joining us on the Holistic Success Show. If you'd like to learn more about how to live a happy, healthy, and successful life, visit our website to view some of our previous episodes.
And if you have a company and would like to learn about sponsorship opportunities of the show, please visit our website.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you have a wonderful week.